I didn't go visiting their center. I went visiting the boys. I had not seen them for 3-4 years. They have been in my programs, everything at one time. Now they're following something else. They are my classmates when I'm in school. This is after many years. Somewhere in between they are in my programs. But now they're following something else, whatever that is. And I go there morning around 9:30, 9:45 to meet these guys. They are all drinking whiskey. One is singing on that extreme, another is singing at this extreme. Both ways one will destroy himself. The realities of life, if you do not know how to walk in the middle, then you will get crushed somewhere, this side or that side.
Spirituality is not some nonsense up there. It is about becoming available to
When one wants to pursue his ultimate nature, when one decides to walk a spiritual path, the one thing which is a great enemy is suddenly one day a doubt will come. Am I just making a fool of myself? Or am I really getting somewhere? This question will come. Now, this question is always there, just behind the scene. Slightest disturbance, it'll come. So, keeping a certain company of people, at least periodically, meeting people who are on the path, to whom it makes something in their lives, is an important part of one's growth. There are very few people I know who do not need the help of the atmosphere around them. They will anyway go. See, you should have seen it too. When I went to school, there were several students in the class. When we went there at the beginning of the year, these students would have studied the textbooks 3 times over before they came to the next year's class. So before the teacher says something, these guys know the subject better than the teacher. These guys don't need to school. They'll anyway go by they have to go. I'm there, who anyway doesn't listen to the teacher. My intentions are totally different. I'm somewhere else. I don't need a teacher too. When I want to pass the exam, anyway I'll pass. Rest of the time, I've switched myself off for my academics. I have nothing to do with the academics there. So I don't need the teacher. But the in-between majority, over 90% of the people, they need the teacher. They need the school. They need the discipline of the school. These two extremes, one, they're too good with academics, they don't need the teacher. Another just doesn't care about the academics, he doesn't need the teacher. But those who care for academics but don't have the same level of preparation, they need a teacher, they need a school, they need all the works of the school, isn't it? So similarly, there are a few people who are all set in the spiritual path. They don't need anybody's company. Anyway, wherever we put them, they keep going straight. They do not need any particular atmosphere. You put them in the most horrible situation, they will make use of that also for their growth. But the rest of the people need some supportive atmosphere. So creating a situation like that is important, but at the same time, it's very important that we create this atmosphere with a certain sense of discipline and understanding and energy. Otherwise, what I see is in the world, most of the so-called satsangs, especially now, the modern satsangs are becoming quite, something. Gautama said, when somebody asked Gautama, is it better to walk with company or alone? Is it better to walk the path alone or with somebody's company? Which is better? Gautama said, good company is invaluable. No question about it. But better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. If you make a journey with a fool, then, you wish you were alone. So, it's very important that we maintain the sanctity of certain spaces, certain atmospheres in a certain way, so that it's used only for that purpose, nothing else but that. Today is the day of everything is hybrid, they want to mix up everything. They want to have music, they want to drink, they want to meditate, they want to do everything in one place. When you start off like this, initially it looks like freedom. After some time you will see it just leads to degeneration. Initially it looks like freedom. What's the problem? There was somebody. They were into some other kind of group and I've known these boys since my school days. And they've set up their own kind of center. I didn't go visiting their center. I went visiting the boys. I had not seen them for 3-4 years. They have been in my programs, everything at one time. Now they're following something else. They are my classmates when I'm in school. This is after many years. Somewhere in between they attended my programs. But now they're following something else, whatever that is. And I go there morning around 9:30, 9:45 to meet these guys. They're all drinking whiskey. So I went there and I noticed it's not my problem what somebody's drinking. It's their home. What they drink, what is my problem? So I sat down and this started. You people, they're referring to all the Isha. You people are even afraid to drink coffee in the morning. We drink whiskey in the morning. I know, because people are under a certain influence of the spirit. You're possessed in a way. I laughed and said, we are not afraid of coffee, nor are we afraid of whiskey. We can digest both, we are capable of both. We have chosen to be the way we are because we know the end result of what we're doing. We are not hodgepodge people, do one thing and find out the next thing. We are not that kind of people. We know exactly if you do this, what will happen. So I'm not against your whiskey, you drink. You drink whatever you want. I'm not even drinking coffee in the morning, not because I'm afraid of coffee. Simply because we want to keep ourselves in a certain way. That's very important, to be in a certain level of aliveness and awareness. We don't want to lose it. We don't want to damage our systems in any way. So that's why we are like this. And this is freedom. We can do whatever we want and still we are on the spiritual path. You can't do this, you can't do that. What kind of spirituality is that? Nobody said, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. See, even to live a physical life here, nature has put some limitations. You can do certain things, you cannot do certain things, is it? Now, from this dais, if I want to jump and have fun, I can jump. Suppose this dais is 100 feet tall. You say, why can't I do this? What kind of life is this? Don't I have the freedom to jump from wherever I want? then it'll do what it has to do. Not because it has anything against me. Simply because I'm being stupid, so there's a price to pay. So similarly, it's alright, you drink whiskey. Every day in the morning, if you start naturally, after some time you'll end up drinking through the day. The only safety of drinking in the evening is you'll fall asleep sometime. Now you woke up in the morning and you start drinking this whiskey, then invariably after some time you'll end up drinking through the day. You drink for a year or two, then you will know where you will be. So, this is a satsang. This is a place where people are meeting, and in the name of freedom, they meditate, they drink whiskey in between, they talk to each other about spirituality, this, that, and then they feel like it again, they drink whiskey. Nothing wrong with whiskey. It is just that it brings unawareness. Intoxication is unawareness, isn't it? If unawareness is what you're seeking, nothing wrong with it. But if you're seeking awareness, then it doesn't help, that's all. So, maintaining a satsang, how we keep it and what we do with it is very, very important. This is one kind. Another kind of extreme is anything that you do, you're supposed to feel guilty about it. If you take the 5 major religions of the world, make a list of all the things that they call as sin, you will understand to be alive is to be sin. Isn't it? Just to be alive is a sin. That's how they made it out to be. All the time you have to feel guilty about your very existence. This is another extreme. This is one thing. This is another thing. Now what I said just now, this whiskey business is just a reactionary, a childish reaction to what has been done in the past. They restricted everything. So these people are trying to break it with it. It's just a reactionary attitude. When you react to something, you're invariably bound to it, isn't it? Now these old religions have been operating like this. On a certain day, a man was walking in the seafront. You have what riverfront? A man walking in the roof. A salesperson came to him and pulled out a toothbrush and said, "Sir, toothbrush, 100 euros. Man said, "What nonsense? This is robbery. Who's going to pay 100 euros for a toothbrush?" The salesperson looked very hurt. Then he put the toothbrush inside, pulled out a packet and said, "Sir, homemade cookies, just 5 cents. The man said, "Okay, that's like it. That looks like it's on discount." He paid 5 cents and bought the cookies. He put it in his mouth and said, "Yuck, that tastes like shit." The salesperson said, "It is, sir. How about a toothbrush now?" Would you like a toothbrush? No. You make people feel guilty about every damn thing, the very process of life. And now there is a solution. One is swinging on that extreme, another is swinging at this extreme. Both ways one will destroy himself. The realities of life, if you do not know how to walk in the middle, then you will get crushed somewhere, this side or that side. Either in guilt or in debauchery, you will get stuck. If you are aware and walk it in a balanced way, in a middle path, when I say middle, I'm not talking in terms of, making a compromise with everything. When you're aware, you naturally walk in the center. Only when you're unaware, when you're going in a moralistic way, you will swing this way. When you have reverse morals, you swing that way. So moral and immoral are not true. So one person has one kind of morality, another person has a reverse kind of morality. So not that he doesn't have morality. He is also a moral person. but he's against the moral. So he has a reverse moral. Isn't it so? They are not totally immoral, they are always a reverse moral. They have a different kind of morality of their own. Even the man who is drunk on the street corner has his own kind of morality, isn't it? Because he cannot live without it. Only a person who walks life in absolute awareness can be truly immoral. Truly immoral because he is no more guided by morals, he's guided by life, simple process of life. He's guided by the source of life within himself, he's not guided by what he believes in or disbelieves in. So satsang is to create an energy and an atmosphere like that. It will be very useful and wonderful to maintain a space like that, at least once a month, if you can keep a certain space, that it would all come together and experience this. It would be very good. I think we should work towards it. We've been doing it. Let's get that going. That'll be an important process for one to, continue on the journey.
How do you measure, one measures their own spiritual progress at individual level?
Oh, you want a meter? Oh, we'll give you a meter. Don't worry about your spiritual progress. There's no such thing as spiritual progress. Are you becoming more available to it? That's all the question is. Let's not talk about something which is not in your experience, because if I talk about something which is not yet in your experience, there are only two options, either to believe me or disbelieve me, isn't it? Believing doesn't get you any closer, disbelieving doesn't get you any closer. So let's talk about something that is in our experience. What condition, what state of mind, emotion, body, and let's leave the energy because that's not in your experience. What condition of your body, mind and emotion makes you more available to life than the way you are right now? You tell me. If you are sad, do you become more available? If you're tense, do you become more available? If you're peaceful, do you become more available? If you're blissful, do you become more available? In which condition would you become more available to the life process? If you're in utmost pleasantness, you become more and more available to everything around you, isn't it so? Right now you're feeling very happy. This one comes and asks some stupid question, you're okay with her. That one comes and asks something else, you're okay with her also. This one comes and asks something, you're okay with that also. You're in a certain state of unpleasantness, you're irritated, frustrated, angry, depressed about something. This one comes and even tries to say something nice to you, this will go. Yes or no? Even to simple aspects of life, you are more available only when you're in a certain state of pleasantness, isn't it? So let's measure by that standard. If by the day, if you are becoming a more joyful human being, you just keep accounts of this on a daily basis. From yesterday to today, am I a little more joyful? If you're keeping accounts and if you're becoming more and more joyful by the day, and your face instead of becoming like this is slowly becoming like this, that means you're progressing. Yes, you're definitely progressing. Because spirituality is not some nonsense up there. It is about becoming available to life process in its fullest possibility. Not just to the physicality, not just to the mentality, to becoming available to life process in its fullest scope. This is spirituality.